Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into a microphone. Why? Well, just because I can, and I continue with Observer System Redux, blind. Now I'm here in the basement, in the compartment belonging to a gang of organ harvesters, and I have a code, 7441. Layers of Fear. That's another game by the developers of this game, and also Medium, also another game by the developers of this game, which I might check out. Medium, I am kind of interested in that, and not so much for the Layers of Fear, although I would say Observer so far, you know, within its genre of walking simulators, it's pretty good. It does bring up some interesting questions, morality-wise. What with the case with the girl that was sharing the body with the old woman, for example. And the overall aesthetic is also nice. Generally, the game is just cool to experience, I would say. Maybe not as good as Soma when it comes to bringing out emotions in me and like making me think, but it's not bad. I'm having fun going through this game, so I might check the other games as well in the future. Corporate info dealer.
Fuck. A living organ farm. It must be in agony.
Is that a pig? Or did that used to be a person? I guess my scanner will probably tell me. Subhuman life form. Sus domesticus. Endangered species. Proceed with caution. So it is a pig. Mostly. Which I guess kind of makes sense, because in fact there are some pretty close similarities between the internal builds of pigs and humans. In fact, humans can use pig heart valves. You know, when you're waiting for a heart transplant, you can temporarily get by if you by using pig heart valves in lieu of actual human ones. So I guess heart rate unstable, extreme mental distress. They are using this pig to grow human organs inside it. Critical error. Like, it seems like a no-brainer to me that I should just disconnect it and let it die. The protagonist himself said it must be in extreme agony, and it definitely does kind of sound like it. I can't disconnect it though. Maybe I need to use the computer? But I'm kind of worried about what should I click.
This kept the critter sedated, but it crashed when the lockdown hit.
Life support system, unregistered medical software, system instability detected.
If I reboot, the sedation program should resume. Or I could unplug it. Put it out of its misery.
Okay, I am going to unplug it, although, you know, I could hear an argument being made. It would be a pretty deranged argument to my mind, but you could try to construct an argument where, you know, it's growing human organs to help humans, to save human lives. So you could, some people could say it's justified, or it could be justified potentially, and I guess, you know, it is a kind of a tricky thing. Well, it's tricky because, you know, this is in fact, this is the image of the, like, you know, meat industry. That's what's happening to animals that we eat. They live in constant agony for the purposes of our consumption. This is not actually different. So I have this case of cognitive dissonance because I know, when I think about it, I know that this makes me a hypocrite because I'm a meat eater and I can't really think about, like, I can't imagine life without eating meat. I'm so used to it at this point. A decent meal to me must contain some meat at least. But at the same time, like, I have kind of resigned myself to the fact that from a moral standpoint, vegans are right. I'm just too weak to actually commit to doing anything with that fact. That's the reason why I'm very sort of hopeful about the future of, you know, plant-based substitutes for meat. I hope that eventually, because I tried a bunch of them and we are not yet there. They do not really taste like it, but once they do, I would gladly switch, even if it costs more, just to ease on the animal suffering. But in the scenario over here, you know, I am sort of acutely aware that it paints me as a hypocrite, and it does even in my own mind, because I have a sort of an instant desire to put this creature out of its misery. I think there's something deeply wrong with keeping it in state of constant pain, even if it helps humans. But at the same time, I do realize, you know, eating meat is not necessary to live. People do need those organs. They were writing emails about it, how they would die without them or whatever. People do need those, but I do not actually need meat. I want it. So, like, this is in fact more, presumably more justified than you know, keeping and slaughtering animals in an industrial system for meat. And still, this makes me extremely uneasy, and I think I am going to unplug it, even though, as I said, you could make an argument where this is justified, especially if you're a meat eater, because this is basically, like, the level of suffering, I would say, is comparable, but the actual goal is actually more worthwhile here than it is in meat production. So, you know, this game just sort of revealed me as a giant hypocrite, and there's not much I can do about it, I guess. Like, it is just what it is. But how do I unplug it? Like, do I just click the red button? Nothing's happening. Simulation error. Yeah, it's wearing like VR goggles. So I guess usually it was being shown some kind of a calming image. How do I unplug it though? Even if I wanted to, and I do kind of want to. Like, I'm worried to move this switch because it was suggested to me that this is actually the reset. Are you sure you want to restart the simulation? No. So would that be the shutdown then? If this is the simulation control? Okay, if I do it wrong, I think I will reload, because it is a bit unclear, but I presume this is the shutdown. Unplug life support system. Yep, it's dead. This is actually very interesting. This is more interesting in a way than the thing with the two women in the little girl's body, because it's especially interesting to me as a meat eater because it exposes some of my cognitive bias and some of my hypocrisy. You know, this situation. I don't feel great with it, but I do think it's interesting, and I do think it's important to realize that we do make mistakes and that we do cover up for the mistakes that we do. You know, our minds are a very fragile thing. We would like to think of ourselves as good people, so obviously we have to do it sometimes. What can I say? You know, on this issue, I guess I am kind of a hypocrite. That's what, like, I do realize that, and I feel bad about it, but I'm, like, I just can't imagine stopping eating meat. So I really do hope they eventually work out, you know, a decent meat substitute so that I can preserve the taste of it, without the actual cost of, you know, animal suffering. I would be more than willing to pay more for it. I would be, you know, I think it would not be, it could be more expensive, and I would still prefer it. Also, for example, lab-grown meat, also something I'm interested in. Could also pay more for that, potentially. But as is, that was still an interesting case. Generally, that's a pretty interesting game. I'm having fun with this game, and with trying to explore everything. So let me get back up, because I'm pretty much done, right? Yeah, locate the owner of the tattoo parlor. Okay, I'm going further away from the exit. So who would know where that tattoo parlor guy lives? Oh. Presumably maybe the janitor. He's just standing in the rain.
Hey, is everything all right? Don't mind the rain?
It hurts sometimes.
And this helps?
Not tonight.
Do you know who owns the tattoo parlor?
Tenant.
What? He lives here. In this building. Where?
Check. Guards. Apartment. 210. Second floor.
Thanks. Don't get your wires wet.
Need to get out.
We will.
Okay. So let's go up. Abnormal genetic structure detected. Species? No match found. So that's the beast's blood then, right? But, wouldn't my scanner have, you know, most of the species of animals on Earth, like, codified? Even if they are extinct, there should exist information about them? So, what do you mean exactly that no match found for the species? Like, is it some kind of a genetic hybrid? Is it a werewolf? Like, there has been some clues about, you know, there have been movies about werewolves and posters about werewolves, and in one of the sequences, my hands were like growing claws. That's potentially interesting.
Synchrosine collected. Synchrosine collected.
specialize in augmentation.
To go beyond our limits. To realize our true potential. To usher in a new era.
Big words. Some would say it's all about improving the patient's quality of life.
Some need to think bigger than that. Our true goal should be to improve all of mankind. Each subject, a step towards that goal.
By subject, do you mean patient?
What else would I be? Or were you being clever about my alleged lack of empathy?
I'm not quite sure what's up with the spider so fast.
Hurt anyone else?
Is this about my wife's death?
Tissue inflammation. It's rejecting the implant.
were connected for 16 minutes and 43 seconds real time.
16 minutes? Am I losing
I would say so.
it? Already scanned. Focus down. Try to remember.
Warning. Abnormal genetic structure detected.
This blood doesn't match the victim. Calibrated trace.
Calibrating now. Calibration complete. Trace established.
Bingo. Yes.
Synchrosine injected. Strain level decreased.
Filtration implant. I already scanned it all, sort of off screen. Eye prosthetics. Jack Carnas deceased. Criminal record. Professional negligence. Civil demotion. Leg prosthetic. Custom item. Wood, English oak. Alloy steel. Regulated materials detected. It's a cane, right? Mild coagulation, traces of controlled substance detected. Abnormal genetic structure, that's the monster's blood? And that's Satan giving Eve the apple, which there might be some significance to that as well, because there has been an image of the serpent, like the serpent made of wires, in some of the visions. So I suppose that might represent
Synchrosine refilled.
Daniel becoming augmented, like he gave in to the temptation of augmentation.
Harsh pills. Not really trendy out here.
Illegal stimulant. Would that be Cain killing Abel? It might be. Chiron search, no searches. No documents. Complications. I'm getting worried about the courier. She doesn't seem to be taking the pressure well. She's irrational, prone to bouts of hysterics. I can't be certain of the infallible nature of my software as well as your hardware, but the human element, as always, proves to be the weakest link. I wonder what would be more risky, to engage another third party or to proceed as we are now. Thank you for the painting. I'll put it up right away. I think I have just the right spot for it. It's showing again. Hey, I'm pretty sure it's showing from under the skin. The thing itches like hell and gets all messy when I touch it. You have to do something. I can't show up to work like this. Contact me as soon as you get the message. HN, so that's from Helena Novak. You deserve all that you get. I don't know if this message reaches you, but I hope to Christ it does. It took me a while to get hold of your current address. We have never actually met, but your actions have forever changed my life. More precisely, they turned it into a waking nightmare. Thus, I wanted to take this opportunity to show my appreciation. It has been close to 2 years since the only woman I have ever loved had the unenviable distinction of being placed under your care, quote-unquote, and although she has not and will not recover, her current doctor, an actual doctor mind you, finally managed to stabilize her enough to make her semi-comfortable. Towards the end, he also installed a permanent feeding tube where her throat once was. She used to have the most beautiful voice. Not that you care. I have come to know that sociopaths are not moved by the plight of others, even if it is one of their own making. I was never one to harbor ill will, or to wish poorly upon others, but when I look at the hollow deformed husk that was once my wife, I am moved to thoughts and emotions I never thought possible. I have attached a photo to this message. I want you to take a long, hard look and know that you did this. I wanted to haunt you for the rest of your days. I wanted to remind you that you are nothing but a butcher, a quack, a callous, empty has-been. I don't know what hellhole you scurried off into, but I hope you die there, and when you do, I hope you rot in hell. So I guess he was demoted for medical malpractice or something? Reinstatement. Jack, I have always considered you a good friend and mentor. While your teaching methods were sometimes harsh, they also helped me improve as a surgeon. Let me therefore extend the same courtesy to you and be brutally frank. There is no way in hell your license could be reinstated. The accusations laid upon you by the council are simply too grave. I used all of my influence to try and get emotion across, but they will simply not budge. Even after all this time, you are still perceived as a pariah, and the patient's family aren't making things easier. Good God, Jack, what were you thinking? To install an untested prototype in an A-class patient, and for what? Even if it would have worked, you would still most likely be facing accusations of malpractice. Whatever your motives were, I'm afraid you need to accept the consequences. Sincerely, Herbert. Okay. Wolfman. Yeah, more movies about werewolves? That is kind of suspicious to me at this point. Especially because one of the visions showed like a... kind of like a deformed man.
Credit chips, just like the one in Helen's apartment. Except these aren't empty.
5,000 credits, unregistered currency storage. Was he talking about Adam? Nanophage and I. Now the book, the cover of the book becomes more disheveled as I progress through the game. Is it supposed to signify that I'm losing my mind? Because at first it was just a normal kid, and then it became looking more and more deranged as the game progressed.
Synchrosine collected. Synchrosine refilled. Synchrosine collected.
Okay, you know what? I think this episode is going to be a little bit shorter